Good afternoon, everyone. Virgo here. It is August 21st, 2019, and welcome to Snoop4Truth Wednesday. I'm going to apologize up front for two things. One, the fan that you're hearing because it's hotter than hell where I'm at. And two, the fact that I don't have Snoop's special detective music today. But I have something really good from Snoop, and that is we're going to be going over the NASA War Document hoax today that has been provided to us by none other than Deborah Tavares. In this particular hoax, Deborah Tavares fraudulently claims that she downloaded a secret or leaked government document from NASA, the NASA website to be exact, which she claims proves that NASA itself is currently killing us all with diabolical, horrific, futuristic, high-tech weapons in furtherance of the planned extinction of mankind. But none of her claims about this document are actually true. So we're going to be taking a look at that today, right after you watch Deborah put this in her own words.
And that is the significance of this NASA war document that was found on the NASA website, and the need to urgently get this out in front of as many people as possible because of the content of this document.
So was this document available to everyone, or this was on their actual website and someone found it?
That is correct. It was on the NASA website, and it was a document that actually is a PowerPoint presentation by Dennis Bushnell, the chief NASA scientist at the Langley Center. And it was presented in 2001, July of 2001, just a few months before 9/11. And what brought my attention to it and immediately rang some uncomfortable realizations was when we first came across it. It says on the website, Future Strategic Issues, Future Warfare circa 2025. And as I decided to just flip through it quickly to see what it was about, I was a little stunned on page 4. It said, the presentation is based in all cases upon existing data, trends, analysis technologies, no pixie dust. And the entire premise of the document, or the PowerPoint, is about robots, cyborgs, and humans. So I immediately saw a conflict between future and now. And I thought, what are they covering up?
A couple of things I'd like for you to notice right off the bat. This NASA PowerPoint presentation, number one, was done in the year 2001. It's got 114 pages in its original form, and it's been condensed down since then by other websites and so on and so forth. This is the one that's off of Deborah Tavares' StopTheCrime.net website. And if you go there, make sure that you have an extra roll of tinfoil with you. The Future Strategic Issues / Future Warfare circa 2025, the future is now, is not what the original document says. It also doesn't have this lovely little put together piece that Deborah's done for you that's outlining every single page that she's telling you lies about. Here is actually a copy of what the PowerPoint presentation looks like. It does have the Future Strategic Issues, Future Warfare circa 2025 on it, but it doesn't have anything about the future is now. Doesn't have anything that shows specific pages for an individual to look at, and that's important, and let me tell you the reason why. What Deborah Tavares calls the NASA war document was actually a PowerPoint presentation which was used as a visual aid for an oral presentation that a NASA chief scientist, Dennis M. Bushnell, gave at an August 13th through the 16th of 2001 National Convention in Orlando, Florida. The convention was attended by thousands of American defense contractors who developed countermeasures, meaning defenses, to potential theoretical future high-tech weapons and that other nations could theoretically develop to use against the American people in the future, as described in this specific copy, which is the original of the PowerPoint presentation. In Deborah's copy, the original PowerPoint presentation is there, but there are some things that are added, and we're going to be going over what those things are. The horrific potential future high-tech weapons described in the original NASA war document, as she calls it, were not weapons that NASA itself was using against the American people. Instead, they were horrific potential theoretical future high-tech weapons that the NASA chief scientist was urging American defense contractors at the convention to develop countermeasures against. That's what's so sick about a lot of these hoaxes, you guys. That they take the very basis of what somebody's attempting to do for good and turn it to evil. Archive.com, which records everything ever posted online, indicates that the original PowerPoint slide presentation was never posted on any NASA website. So contrary to Deborah Tavares' claims, it was never downloaded or leaked from a NASA website at all. Archive.org indicates that Bushnell's original PowerPoint slide presentation was actually posted on the public domain, in the public domain for all the world to see on the U.S. Department of Defense's Technical Information Center website, which is a public website. It was done a month before the 2001 convention at which Bushnell was scheduled to speak. It was never posted anywhere else on the web. This means that Deborah Tavares' claim that the subject document was discovered and downloaded by her from a NASA website is nothing more than a complete and total lie. In case you're wondering, Miss Deborah Tavares had a very good reason for lying to the American people about the true source of the original document. If she truthfully admitted that the original document was downloaded from the public website of the U.S. Department of Defense's Defense Technical Information Center, which is, of course, as I stated, a public website, then the original document would not appear to be a secret, diabolical, nefarious, and otherwise part of a conspiracy to kill us all. This is because the U.S. government does not usually post written proof of its own conspiracies to kill its own people on its own public information center website for the whole world to see. But let's talk about what the document actually says by page number, so that this way we can look at Deborah's claims and how realistic they really are. We're going to start here with page number 6, where it states the threat of Russia, Iran, Iraq, and Pakistan, all of which are other nations. Now looking at page number 7 that she talks about, which is a threat, is the threat that 70% of the world's research is going on outside of the United States. Page 7 also talks about the threat that the U.S. produces only 18% of the world's GDP. Page 32, the threat that other countries lead the U.S. in science, research, trade, economics, savings rates, and math scores. Page 33, the threat that according to current economic trends, the U.S. is falling behind, while China and other countries are excelling. Page 100, the threat that over 2/3 of all satellites in space are now foreign owned. Page 113, reflecting that the usual audience reactions or responses to the foregoing presentation are, among other things, A, they, meaning foreign nations, would not do that, referring to using such weapons against Americans. B, we Americans have to hope that they, foreign nations, would not do that, referring to using such weapons against Americans. And C, why go there? We Americans cannot defend against it, referring to the use of such weapons against Americans. Cannot defend against it. Do you hear that well? Thus, even Deborah Tavares' own version of the NASA document clearly states that the horrific high-tech future weapons described herein, or therein, were weapons that other nations could develop for use against the American people in the future. Let's look at some proof. What you're looking at here is archive.org. This is the actual history on the only place that this actual document was ever provided. And as you can see, the actual first page of the PowerPoint presentation is sitting there, and it does not say the future is now, and it is not the same as what is loaded up on Deborah Tavares' website. Just so you guys are aware, anything that I'm going to link-wise will be located in the description of this video so that everybody can visit it. This is the only website where the original document was ever posted, the DTIC, Defense Technical Information Center. This is part of the Department of Defense. As stated before, this was open source, open to the public. Everyone could view it. The DTIC also has listed here the actual conference that the National Defense Industrial Association in Arlington, Virginia. Let's see. It's just basically record of the fact that this conference took place, and this is the conference where this very specific PowerPoint presentation done by NASA was held August of 2001, as stated. So let's talk about the conclusion. It's fairly simple as far as I'm concerned. Contrary to the claims of Deborah Tavares, the NASA war document, as she calls it, does not prove that NASA itself is currently killing us all with horrific futuristic high-tech weapons in furtherance of the planned extinction of mankind. To the contrary, a careful reading of the NASA war document, as she calls it, actually reflects that NASA is trying to protect us from such diabolical weapons. The fact that NASA created and used the document to urge American defense contractors to develop countermeasures against such diabolical weapons actually reflects that NASA seeks to prevent any planned extinction of mankind, exactly backwards to what Deborah Tavares claims in her hoax. Deborah Tavares knew the truth about the document all along, but she decided to lie to the American people about it anyway, in order to incite hatred and violence against innocent Americans. So whether or not there is a planned extinction of mankind, this document provides no support for that whatsoever. You guys know this is a serious pet peeve for me. And one of the things that I'm going to be doing in an upcoming video is going over the 5 psychological reasons why con artists and scammers become more easy to believe than someone who's actually telling you the honest truth, even with factual evidence and proof that you yourself can look at. I think you guys are going to find that specific video very interesting. This is becoming a world full of nothing but misinformation, lies, fear, hatred, violence, and garbage. Don't fall for it. Let's work to try to get people like Deborah Tavares shut down for good. Thanks, everyone, and thank you to Snoop4Truth for once again shedding the light on the lies and bullshit that are out there. Everybody have a great day.